You know, one thing I don't like about Buffalo is that we only have one internet celebrity. And it happens to be Keemstar of all people. Ugh. It's me, Lagoon Daddy, the one, the only, Noah Allen. Oh, I've got a story. I've got a story for you today. But first, I need a hat. There we go. Perfect. Joker hat. Because today's story deals with mental illness and how I thought that I had one. I mean, it's still to be decided. I technically haven't been to any specialist or like actual doctor that would, you know, prescribe or diagnose such a thing. But it might be a thing. It might be a thing. I might have depression. That's a thing, right? Anyway, let's take it back. Not as far back as last time, but this time, let's take it back to my baby carrot days. My tweenage years. Middle school. Oh yes, middle school. And in middle school, I had one bestest friend. And his name, let's call him Rocket. Let's call him Rocket Raccoon. Because he was a kooky fellow. He wasn't a sailor-mouthed raccoon who was best friends with the tree. No, he was a kid with special needs. And me being just a weird kid in general, just happened to be in a bunch of the same classes as him. And me and Rocket, we got together. We fit together like peas in a pod. We were the bestest of friends. Begrudgingly. I originally didn't really want to be his friend because I was kind of an ignorant jerk. But I slowly grew to really like this guy. This best friend of mine. So yeah, me and Rocket were the bestest of friends, but we had one common enemy. And we'll call him Robert. Yes, it was me and Rocket versus Robert. We didn't like Robert. Robert was this portly kid, in most of the same classes as us, who just, you know, perhaps his shoes were too tight, or his pants didn't fit just right, but I think the most likely reason of all is that his heart was 2 sizes too small. He had a heart somewhere. I know, because I unknowingly found it and used it against him. I sound evil. I should. Okay. So, our rivalry had been going on for months. Months on end. Me and Rocket versus Robert. Our battles were glorious, you know. Mean words exchanged, and that was it, because we were just little kids. We were middle schoolers, so none of us really wanted to fight. We were all, he was, you know, portly and knew he would probably lose, and I was a pacifist. I still kind of am. And then, if, you know, Robert decided to throw fisticuffs, he'd probably get thrown into a crazy bin. So, none of us actually wanted to, like, fisticuffs fight, even though Robert did threaten us with fisticuffs several times. But let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. In the midst of our battles, our mincing of words, we would occasionally take trips down to the dreaded office of 249. 249 is where the counselors were. The counselors. And I was there by myself. I was no longer scared of these interrogations. I was a hardened, you know, criminal. I was like, you're not gonna get nothing out of me. The counselor, let's call him Mr. Pence. Mr. Pence, he's been through the rigmarole with me and Rocket and Robert before. He knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. And he's like, so what you're telling me, Noah, is that you're not saying these things to his face, telling them to Rocket to get him to calm down because Robert is making Rocket upset. But these things you're telling you're feeding you're feeding Rocket these mean things about Robert, and Robert is just hearing them through the grapevine, and he's not liking it. But your defense is that saying these mean things to Rocket are the only thing that's calming him down. And I sit there like, yes, it's exactly what I just said. That was kind of the way I was able to get him to calm down. You know, being friends with him for months had taught me the sacred art of calming down this kid. And that's how we did it. When Robert antagonized us, I would then antagonize him back, but like say mean things about him to Rocket. Just calm him down. I was just trying to be a buddy. Just trying to be a buddy to my friend. You know? He's one of my first three. I think it was my third best friend. Besides, the one that left and then the one that was never real in the first place. And it's crunch time. It's crunch time in this interrogation. He's like, listen, there's really no good reason for you to be saying those things. He needs to learn. Rocket needs to learn to calm down some other way, because we can't, that's just mean. We can't do that. We just can't. And I say, listen, nobody knows this. I don't even know this, but I'm pretty sure that I also have a mental illness. I'm pretty sure I've observed Rocket. I've observed him. And I see certain things that he does that I also do. Because I'm also just a weird kid, and I think I might also have this mental illness. He's like, alright. And then I get dismissed. I got off scotch-free. And you know what happened next? Do you know what happens next? Robert stopped antagonizing us. It was amazing. It was awesome. Robert stopped antagonizing us. I ended up talking to Robert like a few years later, and he's like, Mr. Pence told me that both you and Rocket will have a mental illness, so I'm not allowed to pick on you anymore. And when he told me that, it had been like a couple of years, and I completely forgot. I was like, no, I didn't. I denied it because I had forgotten. Only to remind the dialogue that I had with Mr. Pence a few minutes later. And then I just was like, can't take it back or else I'll look like an idiot. Dang. And had the truth come out. The truth come out here. Yeah, I kind of lied about having a mental illness. I mean, I can't prove that I don't, because I haven't been tested or anything. And I'm apparently high functioning enough. I'm apparently high functioning enough that doesn't warrant testing. But let's be real here for a second. If you deep down in your psyche believe that there might be something wrong upstairs, you need to seek professional help. I know what it's actually like to deal with certain mental illnesses. I've dealt with depression. I've dealt with one very specific kind of addiction that will not be named because it's actually still very embarrassing, even to me, but you can go through it. It's possible to get past it. It's possible to function alongside it. But the choice is yours. If you feel like you need help, get help. The world is moving in a very progressive place. People are trying to stop the stigmatization of mental illness, and that's great. That's great. That's awesome. I don't know why I decided to get all serious like that. Let's end it on something funny. Deadpool bobblehead. Hey, guess what? I stream on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And I'm also live on TikTok every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We also have an amino now. It's under Goon Daddy. So if you know what amino is, it's like super Tumblr, specifically for fandoms, and such a wonderful place of, fan art and memes and more fan art and more memes. So yeah, check it out.